Would you say that ego is not understandable also?
Um, well, in its relationship to the rest of, yes, is it, hmm, is it, you're right. Things come out of my mouth and go into my ears and makes me think.
All right. Mary, right?
Yes,
Mary. And
and Violet.
Violet. All right. So just to kind of recap what I'm doing,
Hmm.
having interviewing folks in my community about something that's meaningful to you, something that you think is true. And my job is to ask questions from a neutral perspective that help us explore how you arrived at the conclusion and what's supporting your confidence that it's true.
Hmm.
All right. Does that sound good?
Sure,
Okay. And you're okay if we record?
sure.
Okay. All right. So, did you have something in mind that you want to explore?
Well, I walk Olympia every day. I put 4 or 5 miles on, either here downtown up on the Capitol, or go down West Bayside, um, go down to Swanson Park. Just pretty much violent, and I put some miles on the road here, soaking in all Olympia has to offer,
Mm-hmm.
but also I'm plugged in to all sorts of things that um, I can think about while I'm walking. And so I listen to podcasts, get a couple books going. And it's interesting when I think back to some of the things I've heard. I kind of remember the landscape in which I heard it.
Okay. So you make a connection with what you've heard to, like the geography and stuff.
Yeah, I
Okay.
said, oh, I remember that. I was crossing like that bridge when that struck me. Which I think is kind of an interesting way, the way my brain works in terms of how I remember things.
Hmm.
And I think I learned those by getting things through my ears. Um, so that's an interesting thing that I've learned about myself. Um, but uh, as far as the podcast, I listen to some political things. I'm a big fan of astrophysics, and if I had a religion, I'd say that would be it.
Astrophysics.
Yeah, that
Okay. What does what does astrophysics help with for you?
just comprehending these concepts of time and space, and uh, the utter under the fact that I can't understand where consciousness comes from, when in fact we're all sort of made of the same stuff, and does that matter in the long run that we're conscious beings?
Would you say that astrophysics helps you understand consciousness more?
I think it helps me understand that it's not understandable.
Okay.
I think it makes me understand that there really aren't answers that I can trust. There's just more questions.
How would you define consciousness?
Just my ability, the the fact that I consider myself as an I, that this is something and that it relates to out there. There's something. There is, yeah, this thing I call me is really made of the same stuff everything else is, and how is that contained? And if in fact that matters, I don't even know. But these are the things I think about. It makes me, the fellow that was here before us has so many answers, and sometimes I wish I could grab a few.
Yeah.
But,
Would you say consciousness is identity?
yeah,
Or maybe
it's
you can think of a
ego.
better word?
Well, ego, I
Ego?
guess.
Ego, okay.
Uh-huh.
Ego.
Yeah.
And would you say that ego is not understandable also?
Well, in its relationship to the rest of, yes, is it, is it, you're right. Things come out of my mouth and go in my ears and makes me think. That, I mean, religion talks about God and your creation of God, and so that puts you in a physical body that you haul I haul around this carcass. I like to say that.
Okay.
Uh, and why does that matter?
Yeah, if you found out that that consciousness was not ego, like would that matter to you?
Mm-hmm.
And how would that change your behavior, your day-to-day behavior?
Yeah. I think I would put more value into my own being. I think that's I put more value into who I am and what I am in the world. Where now I'm always seeing that there's so much more bigger and better than little old me.
Ego prevents you from doing that?
Um, appreciating that I have a consciousness and that I am running around in circles. Where do I stand in the vastness of the universe?
Your relationship with
Yeah.
everything else that's going on.
Yeah, and and physics it talks about there's really only four forces, and they were all the whole universe, the way the planets move, the stars, everything is based on just four small forces, and somehow we got this consciousness got squeezed out of something, and ended up in this little dish I called me.
What would you say about consciousness that you're the most confident in?
I wake up every day. Because where was I overnight? I guess that's the real blast of consciousness is when I open my eyes and start thinking. Today is Thursday. What am I going to do today?
Mm-hmm.
And where have I been all night long? I've been, I guess, in this bed. I don't.
The you that you're talking about, ego?
Yeah.
Where was your ego all night?
Where was my self-thinking being overnight.
I can kind of take this in a potentially interesting direction. Is there, when you say that you and the ego is in relation to everything else that's going on, do you feel like you're separate from everything else going on? How does that kind of fit in your mind?
I think that's my big question. How am I separate? How, if I'm made of the same stuff, being ruled by the same stuff, what is it? What is this consciousness that makes me feel separate?
You feel separate?
Yeah, well, I walk around, nobody, yeah. Well, that's what I think. Yes.
Okay.
Think I'm not going to say we all feel separate, but I think we think we have an individuality that makes us unique. And how that relates to the giantness of the universe, I'm not quite, that's what my big phenomenon is.
Where do you end and everything else begin?
Yeah, kind of that, yeah. Yes, I have my life theme is that judgment is easy and understanding is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to keep my judgments off the table and try to do the understanding. So it goes from that vastness of everything to not trying to judge the man that was sitting in this chair before me, that he seemed so concerned that the world is not fair, and maybe he's right. I don't know. I'd be interested to know how he came to those conclusions and what's he got coming in here at his ears.
Yeah.
And these last 7 or 8 years, I mean, we're all sort of falling apart from each other, and I don't want to feel like I'm an individual that is solely separate. But I do want a community. I do want people to live together. I do want people to understand and be able to have separate ideas and separate ways they live their life and still be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. How would you answer that question? Just to get back to the consciousness thing.
Yeah.
How do you decide where you end and everything else begins?
Yeah. It's all in my head, I guess. My brain decides where I end and where this chair is not me. I end right before then.
Okay. So it's your body?
So yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's why I said that was. I can't make myself be over there and think thoughts.
Uh-huh.
But I can think about over there and imagine what it must be like to be over there.
Yeah.
But I am not over there. I don't know.
And your body is made up of everything else that everything else is made of,
Yeah.
you were saying?
Yeah, we're all basically the same stuff.
Okay.
Materially. We just put together all different.
Cool. Anything else you want to say about consciousness?
No. I think I've confused myself and you. Violet knows that she just sleeps through this stuff.
Well.
Sorry, thank you though.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Enjoy that?
It was good. I did. Thank you. I think this is just a great idea. I just hope it really does something for the community and for yourself and for who you're touching. You're touching a lot of people. It's awesome.
Thanks for that. Yeah. Again, I'm out here pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
If you see us again and you want to talk about something else, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
If you want to explore something
More concrete.
Well, now you kind of have an idea of what it's about.
Yeah.
So that might.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Good. Great. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks again.
It's really coming down.
or are you? Is this a hobby or?
It's a hobby.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, thanks.
Thanks again, Mary. See you later, Violet. You're such a good puppy. How old is she?
10.
10.
Yes.
Get up there.
I told her she's a young senior.
Young senior.
She'll